Possibly one of the greatest litigators of our time, Alan Dershowitz, Harvard Law School professor emeritus, host of the Dersh Show podcast, and author of the book Get Trump. Boy, did he not have that one nailed. That is exactly what's happening today. Supreme Court, Get Trump. This one will decide whether or not states can take Donald Trump off the ballot because apparently he was in an insurrection but was never charged. I don't know what I was listening to last hour, but Alan Dershowitz can make sense of it all. Alan, welcome to the program.
Well, I can't make sense of it. I have rarely seen two less able lawyers argue so important a case. They have both missed the point. The star of these proceedings are the justices. They're the only ones who've made good arguments, and they've made very good arguments on both sides. But they've made the arguments for the litigants. Trump's lawyer, I just dropped the ball. Made the wrong argument to the wrong justices. He didn't understand the room. He didn't understand the issues. And the lawyer for Colorado, same thing. I mean, these are B- performances in an A+ issue.
How is that possible?
It's shocking. They was, you know what they were like? The lawyers were like the lawyers who advised the presidents of colleges, Harvard and Penn and MIT. They were so taken up by kind of legal technicalities that they didn't see the big issues. And it's shocking to me that these lawyers, both of whom are relatively experienced, just didn't get it. And they had to, both of them, be rescued by the justices themselves.
So what did you get from the justices on a lien? Any indication of where they're going with this?
Yeah, I think the leaning is in favor of Trump, despite Trump's lawyer. Not on the ground that Trump's lawyer argued, but on other grounds that I've been arguing for a long time, that only Congress, under Section 5 of the 14th Amendment, has the authority to implement Section 3. That's the argument the justices seem to be focused on. That's the argument that I've written about over and over again. But I gather the lawyers didn't read my article. So, they just argued the wrong provisions of the Constitution.
So let me ask you, Alan, this is the one thing, and this is just coming to you as a layperson who doesn't know squat about the law. But how can he be taken off for insurrection when he's got 1 billion lawsuits against him and not one has charged him with anything like that? How can you be excluded for something nobody's even charged you with officially in court, let alone proven?
To show you how absurd Jason Murray's argument is, he's the lawyer for Colorado. He said on January 6th, the minute the president engaged in the insurrection he was no longer eligible to be president. So for the last 14 days of January, between January 6th and January 20th, we had no president, according to that argument. According to that argument, the country was without a president for 14 days. That is such an absurd argument. And the justices, of course, poked holes in it immediately. They're doing it right now as we speak. But I tell you, if I had students in my class that made arguments like this, I think I would suggest divinity school or business school. I just don't think these are great lawyer arguments, and the public, deserves great lawyers making great arguments in a case as great and as important as this one. This is such a disappointment from the point of view of advocacy, but it's been very good from the point of view of the justices themselves. They've asked the right questions.
What's the ramification of the Supreme Court making too broad of a decision or getting this wrong?
I don't think the court's going to get it wrong. I think they're going to make a very narrow decision. They're going to say, absent any congressional action under Section 5 of the 14th Amendment, this is not self-enforcing. He wasn't disqualified from being president on January 6th. You have to have a process. He has to be charged with insurrection. There has to be some process. And that's what I would have argued. And that's what the justices wanted them to argue, but they just didn't do it. They just didn't do it. I want to keep this a little bit short today because I want to get back to listening to the argument.
Yes, okay.
But I think that the court will decide in favor of Trump narrowly on a technical issue without getting to the issue of whether or not he is disqualified or whether he committed an insurrection or anything like that. But this is a major disappointment from a guy who's been an advocate for 60 years and had heard such good things about these lawyers. They were overprepared technically, underprepared emotionally and politically and in any practical sense of the word. Common sense was missing today from the arguments of both of those lawyers.
That is the theme almost of every show. Alan Dershowitz, thank you so much. Host of The Dersh Show, and Get Trump is his book. God bless you, Alan. Thank you.